Back in Boston, getting set for Section 2 of the women's DMR. Stanford and Harvard, the record holders of the conference and the country, respectively. North Carolina hit number 1, 8th best DMR time in the nation. They ran the second fastest in program history at 10:46.62 at the ACC Last Chance. You also see NC State, the 7th best DMR time in the nation, as well as reference the anchor leg will be Engelhardt, a freshman with Mahalik, with the opening leg. Norm, this is a star-studded field here in the women's DMR for Section 2.
For sure. You know, if they're anchoring Engelhardt, they mean business. Engelhardt is the fastest time in the mile at 4:23. So, you know, Will Packer saying they're serious about this event. Stanford probably has the most to gain, and that they could make nationals if they run hard. And, you know, if NC State presses them, that'll make it even easier. But their leadoff is impressive right here. Yeah,
that's Whitaker, an Olympian, 157.76 PB in 2024 for Juliet Whitaker. Then 6 laps, the 1200 to start. Women's DMR.
Whitaker's not wasting any time. She's got almost 10 meters on the field, about 220 meters in.
So Whitaker is out in front. Cassidy Scott is right now in second for North Carolina. Again, Norm mentioned, I think it's a great point for Stanford, and I might have referenced it early on in Section 1. Stanford at 13, just outside the qualifying dozen. So the Cardinal looking to punch their ticket to NCAAs here. And I mentioned Whitaker. You got Sophia Kennedy anchoring. Whitaker out in front, North Carolina in second. Virginia is in third with D'Souza.
Whitaker has taken her lead from 10 meters to almost 25 or 30. She is putting this out of doubt here on the 1200 legs. Everybody else is going to be running for second now.
Yep, that's Mahalik right now trying to close into second. Remember NC State, the defending champs, at 10:52.59 a year ago at this meet.
Halfway for Whitaker in 136. That's within her comfort range. I mean, she's on 157. She should feel comfortable at 136.
Yes.
So this is a great move by Stanford to get it done. Just get out front, put your best possible runner on the 1200 leg and your best anchor. You know, their middle 2 legs will be highly motivated because they got a big lead. They know Nationals is on the line. I think we may be seeing a mark that could get it done. All right, she's coming up on 2 to go. Let's see what she goes through the half in. It's going to be about 2:10, maybe 2:09 high.
See NC State, the defending champions, they clocked a new school record in Winston-Salem last week, and Mahalik is running a terrific opening leg. Rauber, Napoleon, Engelhardt were part of that. Engelhardt, fantastic anchor run there at Winston-Salem, running a 4:23 split, a feat that saw her named the track and field athlete of the week.
Whitaker at the bell, 2:42. These guys are going to be about 2:50.
Whitaker out in front.
7-second lead for Whitaker with 1 to go.
How about BC though, Norm? They're in second right now with Hannah Hollins. North Carolina is running third in the opening leg of the women's DMR.
Still to me looks like a lot of team running for second.
Yep. Addie Pendergrast is going to run this second leg. That will be the 400.
Whitaker,
Stanford,
running 3:15 or so on the leadoff.
Yeah, tremendous.
Solid. 3:15.28 officially split.
Pendergrast way out in front. Florida State will now leapfrog into second.
6-second lead for Stanford over Florida State at the handoff. Florida State Quartermeyer is going to cut in some to the Stanford lead, most likely. But let's see what 1 lap in is. And it's still about a 6-second lead.
That's Ceremi running the second leg for Florida State. BC will now take third with Josini. And now she moves to the second. Yep, on this backstretch.
Duke
right
coming up. Duke
that's Braylon Baker.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, Braylon Baker on there. You're saying you're pretty serious too. It looks like Duke is going to hand off to the half-mile leg, at least tied for second.
Everett's here in this
And they're wearing long, the Duke's running long Tolbert on the 800. So there's another girl who's run right at the 2-minute area.
But still the healthy lead here for Stanford. And again, trying to crack into that bubble time. Stanford out in front. It's Amelia Everett running this third leg.
Tolbert and BC's Bergman are reducing the lead of Stanford. It's gone from 6 seconds to about 4.
So Norm, that bubble time right now, Clemson has it at 10:49.27. 10:49.27. Just keep that in the back of your mind moving forward in the race.
Yeah, that's done. That's not happening. Cardinal, though, is losing ground to Tolbert and to Bergman of BC.
Yeah, how about Tolbert? Yeah, you're spot on.
Tolbert has that look on her face. She's going to get the lead from Stanford, I'm pretty sure. And I know Duke will have a formidable anchor, not necessarily in the Kennedy mold, but
Stephanie Moss will be their anchor for the Blue Devils.
Duke, the last few years, especially on the women's side, when they smell blood in the water, they go for it. Now Tolbert is going to have a busy weekend. She's also running the 400 and the 4x4 for sure. We know they're trying to make nationals in the 4x4, having the ACC record. Tolbert with less than 1 to go now. Stanford's inner sights, but can Stanford come back? I bet you they can. Stanford looks like she's got a little left in the tank.
Iris Bergman is running this third leg for BC.
Tolbert's got 100 meters to go, but I think she is done denting the lead. I think Stanford's going to lengthen it a little bit here. And now look who's moving into third. That is the NC State Wolfpack.
Yep, that's Engelhardt, which
Tolbert is running out of gas.
Give way to Napoleon, and Napoleon will run the anchor.
Napoleon, the great steeplechaser.
The steeple that we called it, right? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we called it the NCAA outdoor meet at Wake Forest last year. Yep. Here's the final leg in a mile, Norm.
Kennedy, the obvious favorite. Is that Moss for Duke?
Yes.
Right. Stephanie Moss. And then Napoleon. That's 3 pretty good anchors. But you got to give the edge to Kennedy or Napoleon. And BC now getting into it. BC's in 4th. And Notre Dame in 5th. That's with top 5.
Stanford, Duke, and NC State out in front here on this backstretch. Also see North Carolina all the way in the back, but UNC has not won the women's DMR here since 2003. NC State had a lot of dominance for so many years as folks who follow this sport well. They've only won the event 3 times, 96, 21, and also, as I mentioned earlier, last year for the Wolfpack.
Stephanie Moss now coming up on Kennedy. Maybe Stephanie heard me up here, right? She said, I'll show that Coach Ogilvy. Kennedy, Moss, Napoleon. Napoleon's so tough, though, man. Well, this is going to be great. So now it's set. We had 5 in it. We clearly got 3 in this running. And remember, NC State's probably already in, but Duke and Stanford would like to join that list.
See what the Indy native can do to close this out. But Kennedy, 5 laps to go. Moss to follow her. Napoleon is running 3rd.
Have to bring this up. 800 splits. Tolbert ran a great leg. She ran out of steam at the end, but she ran 2:04. But the NC State half miler, 2:02.56, fastest of the race.
Fantastic.
But look at this, we got a race here. We got a real race coming up on 4 to go. 800 meters remaining. Kennedy in the lead, Moss 2nd, Napoleon 3rd.
You see the 6-time All-American out in front, Kennedy, followed by Duke and NC State. Boston College is in 4th.
Wow, this is another great DMR. You know, obviously they're looking to run really fast and get to nationals, but this is also an ACC DMR with a title on the line. Here goes Napoleon into 2nd. But any one of those 3 girls could win this. Kennedy probably with a little less leg speed than Napoleon or Moss, but she's got tremendous strength. all she's accomplished at 3K and 5K.
See the Wolfpack student athletes cheering on their competitors in the women's DMR. Napoleon running second to Kennedy. Of course, her father Bob, a two-time Olympian. Seeing his daughter shine here at the ACCs. Kennedy out in front, Napoleon in second, Moss for Duke in third.
BC's back in it, in fourth, right behind Moss, and looking good.
Go back to the fantastic finish that NC State had last weekend in Winston-Salem, Norm. When Engelhardt at the time received the baton, NC State at that point was in fourth place, nearly 10 seconds behind the leader, North Carolina. Maybe not apples to apples right now, but you're seeing NC State at this moment trying to take the lead. Right now, Napoleon is still in second behind Kennedy. Can they have a finish like last week?
How about Holland for BC?
It is Napoleon.
Here comes Moss. Here comes Stephanie Moss at Duke. It looks like Kennedy is going to stay boxed and out of it. We're coming up on the bell lap. Napoleon, Moss, Holland for NC State, and now Moss takes the lead.
Here comes Moss. Well, she's trying to, but Napoleon's still out in front. Yep. As we head to the backstretch, it's Napoleon out in front. Moss in second for Duke. BC's in third.
Moss is in the better position, and she goes wide, and she takes the lead. Nope, not quite.
Outside on this turn.
Keeps trying. She doesn't get it. One last turn to go. Napoleon looks like she's going to outgut her. Napoleon determined, the steeplechaser from NC State. Moss, though, look at that look on her face.
Moss trying to close. Moss takes it.
Wins. Wow.
It's Moss for Duke. And the women's. All right, final section.
Miami out quickly in 6.
That's Tate.
Julia Jackson for Duke. And Clemson running well in lane 3.
Last year, a meet record by Duke at 3:31.88. As they come to the pole, Jackson contending with Tate. It is Jackson, Julia Jackson out in front for Duke. Miami right now in third to Clemson, Shanky Williams. Duke just on that outside. Remember that bubble time, Norm, coming in. Remember that. Here's Jackson. Good leg for her. Going to give way to Braylon Baker. Baker
on the winning DMR on Thursday night.
Baker's out in front. Nia Kitt. So there for Clemson. Grissom as well for Miami. Kitt's in second, Miami in third. Braylon Baker out in front. BC is in fourth with Serto. Braylon Baker has another lap to go. Kitt right behind her, the same with Grissy. Sinisi is running here for BC.
If you look at the eyes of Braylon Baker, she looked up just as she crossed the line, and she must have seen something she didn't like. Since she went down and picked it up even further. Baker trying to pull it away. You'd almost hope that Miami would stay with them to push them all the way through. Duke is out kind of on their own right now.
Remember, Duke, the best 4x4 in the conference with a 3:30 at the Tiger Paul. Baker, good pass. Here comes Collins,
and
she leads.
Clemson too.
Yep, that's Bryn Bulow. Bulow's in second. Kihuyu third right now for Miami. Watch on this turn here, Norm, for the Hurricanes.
For sure. This is Collins' 5th race of the weekend. Probably a little tired. And here comes Miami, right where you expected him to be.
1 lap to go here in this leg. Collins out in front. Kihuyu is in second for Miami. In third is Clemson, followed by BC on the backstretch.
Can Collins hang on?
Kihuyu trying to take the lead.
They've brought the anchors out into the exchange zone.
It'll be Tolbert for Duke, Hebron for Miami. Star-studded matchup to culminate the ACCs. Here we go in the final pass. Sanaya Hebron out in front of her Miami. Tolbert takes the lead as we head to the backstretch.
Tolbert also on the winning DMR back on Thursday, running a 2:04.800. She ran a great 400 earlier in the day. Lots of races under her legs, but she's out in front of Miami by a full stride right now.
And we're coming up on 1 lap to go. Hebron, a veteran of these 4x4 wars.
Tolbert at the bell with the lead for Duke. Hebron is in second. BC Sagala is in third. Clemson is in fourth with Chep Nagedich. Tolbert has the lead. Can Hebron catch her?
Look at the determination on both faces of Duke and Miami. Halfway through the final turn, it's still Tolbert.
Duke trying to repeat with Tolbert. Here comes Hebron on the close. Can Tolbert do it? She's got it for Duke.
Very
Repeat
fast.
to the women's 4x4.